Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Wordz, and it's a pleasure to have you all here tonight. This is show number 22. Our theme for the evening is animal. You have poetic license, so flip it how you want. If you do not have a theme, you did not write a poem based upon tonight's theme, then you might as well log off because we're not going to call you. Nah, I'm joking. That's just a suggestion. So you guys can do whatever you want, flip it however you want. Real quick, a couple of people had at the last second dropped off the open mic list. So I had Sam Park on the waiting list. She's being bumped up to a guaranteed slot right there. So real quick, because we have to thank the people who pay the bills. We'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at nuyorican.org/contribute, or you can send money to our Cash App at Nuyorican Poets Cafe. The Nuyorican Poets Cafe is on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. In fact, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So for those of you who are checking out, as you can see on the screen, I put up here the number to the Zoom. It's 279-995-364. Once again, the Zoom number is 279-995-364. Poets who are signed up and on our open mic list, you have 4 minutes to share your poem or your poems. Please keep it to 4 minutes because we like to try to get to people on the waiting list. Also, after our poets perform, we like to unmute everyone so everyone can clap, make noise. When I go to unmute you, make sure that you click yourself unmuted so that we can hear you. With that being said, we're going to get right into it. And if I miss something, I'll just go back to it later. First up is a man who's on the waiting list last week. I really wanted to get to him, but I'm glad he's on this time. And his camera's looking smooth, and he's got a whole new mic, and that is Alexander the Goat Goldberg. Alexander, how are you, brother?
Yes, I am good. Thank you. I'm glad to open up the night of great performances. Yes.
Me too. I'm happy to have you on. I did check in on Thursday. I saw you share, so it was great, man. So go ahead, kick it off, Alexander.
Okay, so my poem is called Employee of the Year. I am CEO of this company here. I've worked at this company for many years. I'm giving the new award. We have been blessed. because we've never had such amazing success. I'm so proud to give the award on this day. This worker is special in more than one way. Our team came together to greet him. We care. He's GOAT, the best one of the year. We live in Brazil, in the city of Serra, and our Hyundai dealership enters new era. Here's our new employee. I will introduce him. He works in our showroom, and his name is Tucson. He came here from time to time, came every day. Our workers were feeding him. He's gone astray. The manager told us to just let him stay. He works for our company. What can I say? He works as consultant. He brings good results. He's named after model of one of our cars. We have more new customers since he was hired. He was vaccinated as it was required. We value him greatly, and after his claim, we gave him the pass with his photo and name. He makes us all cheer when we start to feel bored. We build him the booth as a special reward. He is our real friend, and he's one we can trust. We like him because he helps the people like us. He brings us the light when it starts to get dim. Boss never recruited employees like him. He got the new job and he got the new home. And we are so proud that he works at our firm. But there's a surprise I prepared for the end. Our greatest employee is a dog, not a man.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Alexander.
Woo!
Alexander the Goat Goldberg flipping it with a dog. I started towards the end, I started to be like, wait a second, you're not talking about a person. Great job, Alexander. Let the people know where they can find you online.
Okay, Alexander Goldberg 35 on Facebook, Go 15 on Twitter, and Korbensky on Instagram. I'll post it right now in the chat.
Thank you, sir. That was Alexander Goldberg, man. Usually he's like our resident history teacher, so it's nice to see him, flip it a little, be a little playful like that. That's what's up. Once again, this is the Monday night online open mic. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to sign up, the list is closed. If you want to sign up, you would do it the Sunday before the show at 9 p.m. I know last night we had some issues with the website. It didn't open up till about 11:10, 11:11. I've been speaking with the cafe so that we can avoid these issues moving forward. And I've already been assured that next week is set up. So next week, if you want to sign up, Sunday at 9 p.m., go to newrecon.org, click full events calendar. Then you get the artist RSVP. It has to be the artist. That way you get on the list. So next coming up is a New York OG, and that is Mr. Paul Skiff. I know he had trouble signing up last night too. I'm glad he got to. Paul, you should be able to unmute yourself.
I'm
there
on.
we go.
You got my sound signal?
Yes, we do. We are now in the Skiff universe. Paul, how are you today?
Okay. I just look forward to this. On a Monday, if I get into this, I kind of have this as a focus for a lot of energy. So thanks for being here and continue to do this. And thanks to everybody who keeps coming here. I was going to say you're making me follow another really heavy writer, but I think about it now, everybody who shows up here every time is really hard to follow. So I should just shut up about that.
It's true, man. We got a lot of heavy hitters. So, all right, go ahead, Paul, get into it.
Yeah, I'm going to follow Alexander's take on having something to do with a dog. So this is a little bit of poetic license because the only dog in this is the title. It's called Piece of Doggerel, which is kind of defined as something loosely styled or irregular in measure for burlesque or comic effect. But that's not it, really. You can't always just look shit up in the dictionary. It'll tell you how to use a word, but not what it means. A doggerel is something that's kind of unschooled. So I'll just launch into this. Ganga, 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 ganga. I'm going down to Bargain Town. Gonna buy your ignorance back for you. I don't see your face no more. Must be on the back of your head. Why don't you go clean something up? I'm staying out of the premises of merchants. I'm staying out of the premises of merchants. My own life is one from which I have largely been excluded. So I'm going down to Bargain Town. Hire me a truth out of Bargain Town. Get me a package of purity. Shop for some new inner self. There are bars full of big drunk men down in Bargain Town. Gonna steal freedom off a truck in Bargain Town. Peace and love, peace and love. Rotted with illusion on solemn only nonsense are in a bag of belief on a few square feet down in Bargain Town, where I'm being fucked by a big huge want. Gonna buy a kiss from impossibility. I own my own. I own my own. I own my own. My own. My own. My own Bargain Town. Excuse me, do you have any packages of need? I want to scrape off all my disappointments. I ordered this life for you, now won't you live it? I made up these facts for you, try to believe them. I purchased this sharp piece of the history of the world for you, now won't you defend yourself from its sharp point? I got this big pile of worm food for that thing that crawled out the hole in your personality. Now won't you eat it? I brought this body here for you. Now won't you fuck it? I've become very funny for you. Now won't you obey my jokes? I smell a dollar bill. Your heart tastes like a dollar bill. Is this a screen or a cash register? Is that your face or a crack cash register? I'm going down to Bargain Town. I'm going down to Bargain Town. Come down from all your language too. Come down from all your language too. Life in Bargain Town. I smell a dollar bill.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Paul.
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
Damn.
That was Paul Skiff, an OG at the New Yo, at the actually physical cafe, and here on the virtual world. Paul, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, I'll just put the website in the chat. There's, I have some new video up there in about a week. This week you can just see the catalog of stuff that's been there the last couple of weeks. Thanks again. I would say the motive for writing this piece comes from a time when the whole downtown New York poetry scene was blowing up and the cafe had just reopened, and it was taking over all the attention from the St. Mark's Poetry Project. And if people know about that, it's kind of the old guard, kind of academic venue. And everybody at St. Mark's kind of looked down on the cafe and the circle of poets there as being people who were kind of unschooled and from the street. So I kind of wrote this poem as a kind of pastiche on what their expectations were of the people in the downtown poetry scene, and just to give them a run for their money, so to speak.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Make sure you put the information in the chat so people can look it up. That is Paul Skiff. You guys need to check out Paul. He knows a lot of history about the New York and around. You see, I don't even know if you knew about the beef behind closed doors and back in the day. So check out Paul, follow him. Next coming up is Brian Franco. There he is. I see him. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself, Brian. There we go.
Shalom, everyone.
How are you, sir?
I'm trying and I'm doing okay. Thank you very much.
Looking good, looking good. Ready to add to the energy?
Yes, I'm going to do a really old piece. I think it's like 12 years old. It is a stage piece that had a lot of gestures with it, so I had to kind of practice and figure out how to make it appropriate for Zoom. And I really worked hard today on this. So I'm going to pull up the script. I tried to memorize it too, so we'll see what I can do here. It's called Why I Took a Bath in Almond Milk and Rice Krispies. And don't worry, I don't get naked and take a bath in this. So. All your shoes have stainless steel tops. They go rat-a-tat-tat like a gat. Sometimes you take a softer approach, like a praiseful poetry snap, or the basic snap, crackle, pop type snap. When I hear you coming, honey, I get hungry. You are pure energy like my morning cereal. Whole grains, nuts, fruit, bathed in unsweetened almond milk. Because to sweeten anything you serve up, baby, would be redundant. You have made me breakfast many a time, but have never burnt my toast. I think if you did, I would believe it was blackened toast to make my cream cheese creamier and my raspberry jam more tart, cause I like it that way. A rat-a-tat-tat like a gat. You have shot holes through my heart on multiple occasions, but the shrapnel from your bullets have wound healing qualities that make hearts stronger and arteries more efficient. You kill me and make me feel so damn good. Addiction is a bitch. I am aware of the mass graves you have dug for your victims of love. They die of natural causes, but find their way to your gravesites like migratory lemmings find cliffs. This is what you call true love. Those who fall in love with you call it gospel. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, hallelujah! Woo! All your shoes have stainless steel taps. You go rat-a-tat-tat. Yeah. I believe in a former life, you invented Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies is a lot like seashells, but instead of the ocean, people who listen to their Rice Krispies hear a snap, crackle, pop, snap, 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 a rat-a-tat-tat, tap. Gracias, everyone.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Brian.
That's Mr. Franco.
Mr. Brian Franco. Last week I just made Rice Krispies with my kids, so I appreciated that line. Brian, you should be able to unmute yourself one last time and let the people know where they can find you online, sir.
I'm just on Facebook under my name. It's just Brian Ira Franco. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Make sure you put that info in the chat. That is Brian Franco. Once again, it's the Monday Night Online Open Mic. If you want to join us because you are watching us from Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, you're going to see in the lower left-hand corner, the Zoom number is 279-995-364. Once again, 279-995-364. Okay, let's get back to the poetry. And the next poet I have coming up is the actor and the man with the coolest jacket I have seen anyone sport here on the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and that is DG Clearing. Sir, how are you this evening? Oh, wait, we can't hear you. Try to unmute yourself one more time.
How's that?
There we go. There we go.
You know,
Looking
Advocate,
good.
if you could put somewhere on your website what your theme is every week. Otherwise, I do a theme every week, but I couldn't find what you were doing this week.
Oh, okay. I'm going to speak to the new yo about that. Usually I throw it up in the beginning of the show. Next week, the theme is equilibrium. Just so
Okay.
everyone knows. It's also at the beginning of the show we put it.
So the theme is about you then.
Equilibrium. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the equalizer.
I got a couple poems tonight, 2 short poems. Millions of Americans around the country are left without jobs or income. Many have no savings and are facing utility shutoffs, evictions, foreclosures, and loneliness. There is loneliness. All alone, confined to my home, exiled from all that is familiar. What was so hideous that segregation was necessary? Government officials say, don't go out. My work will not come back. You said for years this could happen. Prepare for the coming, for the darkness, things in the night that come in the day. There is loneliness and isolation. Sitting here, staring at the walls, my dinner goes uneaten. As food rots on the counter, dishes pyramid high above the sink, trash bags thrown in the corner, fruit flies thick as curtains swarm the kitchen, soiled clothes litter the rooms, mail piles high on the floor, goldfish are my only companions. Brown rings stain the toilet, the television's dark, and the radio's silent. No bars on the phone, the internet dead, electric, water, and gas disconnected. Dandelions weep and the lawn is brown. Sparrows nest in the eaves. White spots splotch the entire deck. Repo men took the car. Cracks in the driveway filled with weeds. There is nothing social in my world. I am at a distance. Thank you. Second poem tonight. The White House sent unmarked federal troops to Portland, Oregon without the governor's approval, using tear gas and batons, abducting innocent people walking down the street, throwing them into unmarked rental cars, and bringing them to federal holding cells. This is jackboots. Jackboots! 10,000 filled the streets to find the vaccine, a better way, a cure. Jackboots have the virus. No names, no identification, enough personal protective gear to wipe out the plague with firebombs. Aerosol is released in the air. Excuse me, it's hard to breathe. We're burning up, coughing, sore throat, vomiting, exhausted and hungry. Walking down the street on the sidewalk, alone on my way home, mass hosts abduct me, thrown into darkness, tied. I have no rights. The inquisitors intimidate and torture me, tossed back into the street. Frightened, there must be a cure. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for DG Clearing.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was deep. That was deep.
And you can find me on DG Clearing at Facebook. Or if you just look up DG Clearing, I'm a few places. Thank you so
brother.
much.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. DG Clearing. I'm glad he's showing up on Mondays. I know he'd be doing this thing over with the open mic on Thursdays. On Thursdays at 9 p.m., La Bruja also hosts an open mic for the New Yo. But over there, they don't just do poetry. They do poetry, comedy, singing. So if you want to do that, check that out on the website, nuyorican.org. It's hosted by La Bruja. Next coming up is the man who is involved in everything writing, and that is Ron Mark Thompson. He is someone that you should meet and speak with virtually or in person, connected to so many workshops. workshops. He does his own thing too. Ron, how are you, brother?
I'm doing okay. How are you, Advocate?
Good, good. We're hearing you well. We're hearing you well. You ready to share your poetry?
Yes, I am. And first, I want to thank Diana Ward and Paul Concasso for keeping me awake last evening to make sure that I sign up, when the website became active. What I'm going to read is a short prose poem. It's about 3 minutes long, to the theme. And it may have a little twist. It does not end until I say the end. So here it goes. And the title is Animal with a question mark at the end. The other day, we ate at one of those outdoor cafes in our neighborhood. You saw me wolfing down my food. Hey, I was hungry. I couldn't help myself. You're such an animal, you shouted at me. I paused for a second and wondered, maybe it's not that bad to be an animal. If I were a dog, I would patiently wait and happily bark when you come home. You feed me, walk me, and I'll cuddle with you when you watch TV. If I were a cat, I would explore your entire apartment, up and down, every corner, every nook. Then I would lay in your lap. If I were a fish, I would leave your apartment, leave the city and swim up the Hudson River, as far north as I could go.
Ron, we're losing your audio. We're losing your audio.
Oh, you hear me?
Last thing we heard was about you being a fish swimming up the Hudson River.
Okay. If I were a fish, I would leave your apartment, leave the city, and swim up the Hudson River, as far north as I could go, to nature, to peace. If I were a bird, I would fly to warmer climates, to the islands, land on a palm tree, escape the virus, escape all the fears, sing all day, bask in the sun. So, maybe it's not that bad you called me an animal. But aren't humans animals as well? Hey, hold on. Do you want me to be an animal? What kind of animal? Do you want me to be the animal who shoots unarmed men or women next to their cars or in their own apartments or puts a knee on their necks? Do you want me to be an animal who buys an AK-47 and shoots innocent concert goers or people dancing in a nightclub or praying in a church? Do you want me to be an animal who stands behind the podium during a convention in front of 1,000 supporters wearing no mask, spewing lies over lies? So you know what? No, I don't want to be an animal. I'll take it back, and you take it back as well. I will remain human, and there's nothing you can do about that. The end.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Ron.
Yeah. Right.
Nice. Good animal.
Phenomenal.
Ron, Mark, Thompson. That theme went with animal, but it also could have gone for the Volta theme because it made a turn right there. That was awesome. Ron, where can the people find you online?
You may remember the sign. You can personally find me at Ron Mark Thompson, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or at my organization, Bronx Art and Fun Art, at BXAFH. And my organization, we do offer free workshops, programs, acting, performance. I do a podcast, and I want to echo what Paul Skiff said earlier, that Monday evenings bring energy, because I've been a little bit behind on my work, so coming here on Monday evenings, it motivates me. So I'm looking forward to the next 20 performers, and each and every Monday, just like I've done in the last week. So thank you, New Rican Cafe, and thank you, Advocate. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ron. Ron, Mark, Thompson. Make sure you put your info in the chat so that people can follow you. Next, coming up, we're going out west to Mr. Abraham Kamani. I hope I said that last name right. Did I say the last name right? Is it Kamani?
Coach is Kimani.
Kimani. All right, cool. Oh, we're already losing your audio. Go ahead. Say something.
I have it on. I turned it off my camera, so can you hear me better now?
Now it sounds like you're underwater. It keeps scratching up.
Okay.
I
You
don't
still
know.
hear me?
Yeah, but it's coming in real rough. I don't know. You're outside. I'm gonna go to the next poet, and then we'll come back to you. See if you can find a spot to get better reception. So I want to make sure we can hear you clearly. Okay.
All right.
All right. That's Abraham. We'll get right back to Abraham, which means next up is Mr. Scott Pleasance. Where is my? There he is. Let me unmute him. You should be able to unmute Scott. There you are. How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I saw someone else. I think a Michael Pleasance come in. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. That's one of my sons, man. I told him he better hop on and get some of this Monday night energy and stuff.
That's
So,
what's up. That's a shout
Yeah.
out to Michael, man. Appreciate it. We love your pops over here. Scott's a legend over here.
He's out in San Diego in the Navy, so he's doing us proud, man.
That's what's up, man. Thank you for serving, man. I know a lot of people. I used to know a lot of people who were stationed out there in the Navy. So out in San Diego, and I've been to San Diego. It's beautiful out there. Expensive, but beautiful. All right,
Yeah.
let me shut up. I'm gonna talk all night. Go ahead, Scott. You get into it.
Okay. This one is titled "Animal Defined." Now, I was going to sit this one out this week because many times I just like to observe, but 7 shots in the back is straight up absolutely ridiculously absurd. Sometimes I may speak softly or I may be reserved with my thoughts, but that no longer seems to be an option because what is falsely painted in a conundrum is continually being caught. You want me to mention this week's theme again, animals? Well, I'll gladly share my thought. It's about this ongoing nightmare, this unbalanced system that we're always being fought. Now, I have my own dictionary and I want you to follow me to page 1691. That would be volume 2. It's the definition of an animal. And note, there is an image entwined in red, white, and blue. Now, I'm a military veteran, and this most certainly is not about the flag, but there's a certain color interwoven that must be extracted, stepped on a few times, put in its own headlock, and dragged. Definition footnote, it can also include a touch of barbarism, extremism, and racism. Now, take a moment to apply those words to this creature in disguise, and I'm sure you will agree. The definition of an animal in blue fits this imbecile perfectly. Now, I'm going to take it a step further and expand my remarks because there are so many similarities, so many things that are no longer hidden in the dark. Once again, the definition of an animal is certainly clear, but if you dissect its organs or peel back just one layer, here's what is revealed. Wrapped around the brain, there is a distorted membrane of blue. With perceived protection and qualified immunity, what's an animal to do? My definition continues if you will turn to page 1965, and let me tell you what it will say. An animal's a thing that behaves in a wild, aggressive, or unpleasant way. If you wonder why these wild animals continue to exist, why the call by the masses is ignored, well, there is a system that is built to fight relentlessly for the rights of the wrong. A system that is kind of like a zoo. It empowers the animals by dressing some of them in various shades of blue. If you need a reason to be of concern or to sound the alarm, may I suggest some remedial reading like George Orwell's Animal Farm? With the proverbial question that seems to come up time and time again, why does this continue to happen in broad daylight with so many looking in? The answer lies in accountability that we know the current system won't address. But remember, animals are subject to the laws of nature, the laws of cause and effect. To my protesters, my writers, my poets and friends, be reminded that the definition of a human includes a conscious with a cadence and a willingness to comprehend. Stay safe. Peace.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Scott Pleasance.
Hey.
Good words.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Slamming. Oh my God.
So good.
Pleasance flipping the theme. And yes, Scott usually just comes and hangs out with us and gives energy to the poets. I'm glad he added his own energy tonight. Scott, where can the good people find you online, brother?
All right, yeah. So I'm working on an Instagram thing. So it's I am poet33 at Instagram, and I'll put it in the chat. And appreciate it once again.
Thank you, sir. Yes, make sure you put it in chat so your son can keep tabs on you, okay?
You got it. You got it.
Thank you. That was Scott Pleasance. Again, shout out to his son, Michael Pleasance, for checking out. I caught that, man. Pay attention. All right. Let's try Abraham one more time. Abraham, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
A little bit. It's breaking up. I don't know. I guess maybe you're just like in a bad area right there. So we'll try it. If it gets too bad, I'll have to cut you off, but let's try it. You ready to go?
You know what? Can I just go after a couple of other people, or can you hear me now?
Yeah. All right. We'll wait a couple people and I'll come right back to you. Okay.
All right.
All right. As Abraham, I know he has some trouble with his connections. He's out and about. So next coming up, I think this is his first time sharing on the Monday night online open mic, but he's been at other open mics I have been at, and that is Mr. Speaker. Sir, how are you today?
I'm great. How can you hear me?
Yep. I hear you loud and clear, man. I'm glad you're joining us tonight, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good, especially following behind Mr. Pleasant there. I like Scott Pleasant there. I like that. Got something for him.
Yeah, all right. That's what's up. Get into it. Add to it, brother.
The heart of a military leader. Have you ever stood strong when fear was all around? I mean, did you actually stand tall while others fell to the ground? Have you ever done what common sense said not to do? Even when others ran and said, come on, man. Don't be a fool. Has fear ever gripped you so tightly that you had to concentrate just to breathe? I'm talking about the kind of fear that brings even the strongest men down to their knees. Have you ever had to remain calm and lead others to a safe place while fear was clouding your judgment and causing your heart to race? Have you ever been so engulfed by fear that 48 hours passed without you missing a single beat? Heck, almost went 3 days on just 2 hours of sleep. Have you ever thought this could actually be the last breath I take? Because see, there was death all around you with no room for error, absolutely no room for a leadership mistake. Have you ever been so frozen by fear that you just didn't know what to do? I have. But I had to go on because 237 soldiers were looking at me to lead them through. See, fear in the face of a leader, well, it could destroy the will of many people, while fear that goes unfaced could become deadly and extremely lethal. All right. Well, have you ever had to give an order for someone to do something that even you were afraid to do yourself? I mean, a command so crazy, you wouldn't do it for all the world's wealth. Have you ever had to send somebody out on a mission that you knew they might not complete? That would be one of those nights where this leader didn't get any sleep. Have you ever had to carry the body of someone who saved your life? The whole time I was thinking, what in the world am I going to tell his wife? Have you ever had to tell someone that her loved one was no longer alive? Trust me, you can actually see her heart breaking through the tears flowing from her eyes. Have you ever had to stand over the body of someone who was dead due to an order you gave? Look, don't stand too close to the funeral because you might want to jump into his grave. Have you ever had to stand before a grieving family? Yes, it is completely sad. Their soldier gave his life for this country, and all I had to give him back was a U.S. flag. See, I'm a leader of soldiers because that is what I was called to do. And just for the record, I'm not telling you all this to prove anything to you because, see, most people don't understand a true combat soldier, warrior, leader. Well, here's some insight for you late night New Yorican poetry listeners and readers. How did you feel when the World Trade Center fell, the Pentagon got hit, and those planes hijacked? This soldier was devastated. Thousands dead on my watch, and it was my job to prevent those attacks. You really don't understand the sacrifices we made for the armed forces. Heck, I missed birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, and been through a couple of divorces. We learned loyalty, honor, respect for the US, for government, and for freedom. But see, we actually fight for our fellow soldiers. You understand if you ever took the time to meet them. So yes, I face fear for you, and even those that act like complete jerks, because failure is simply not an option for me when I go to work. See, I'm descended from kings, forced into slavery, chose to be a soldier. So here is my quote. I fought for this country before I even had the right to vote. I'm the Buffalo Soldier who fought the Indians and settled the West. Absent from those history books is my blood, sweat, and hard work that helped build the U.S. I bravely charged up San Juan Hill and was later discredited in the press because racism wouldn't let this world view me as the nation's best. I'm the courageous, hardworking sailor who signed up at the local rally to learn that I could only serve my country from deep in the ship's galleys. I'm that black flyer who defied all odds to fly, fight, and win. Well, you might have heard them call me one of those red-tailed Tuskegee Airmen. I fought in all the U.S. conflicts to include 2 world wars to stop global oppression. But it wasn't until the Korean War that we actually came over segregation. The media and the public want you to call me a hero. But you treated my Vietnam brothers, those leaders, like complete zeros. Those Vietnam warriors followed orders, fought with honor, and had no regrets. But when they came home to your insults, no cheers, this total disrespect. Well, this soldier has faced his fears through multiple wars in the Middle East. And I salute those dealing with fear right now so we can enjoy poetry here in peace.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Mr. Speaker.
That was so powerful. Thank you.
Good
Thank
job.
That was dope, Speaker.
So
Dope.
Mr. Speaker went in. Let me unmute him so we can hear him one more time. Oh, hold on. Unmute yourself one more time. There you go. There you go. Sir, thank you for showing up tonight and adding to the Monday night open mic. Where can the people find you online?
Hey, they can find me online at all things Mr. Speaker, MrSpeakerInc.com, and I'll be back here Monday.
That's what's up. Thank you. That was Mr. Speaker. Thank you for serving as well, brother. I appreciate it. Next, coming up on the open mic is Andy Markert. Where I know Andy's here. Where is it? There he is. I see him. Let me unmute him. You should be able to unmute yourself now, Andy. There we go. How are you, brother? You good?
I'm doing good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, I got 2 tonight, 1 about an animal and 1 off prompt. So here we go. Magical Meerkat. My name is Andy Markert, but I'll answer to Andy Meerkat. It's a funny story born of British accents and tits. You see, British people can't hit the hard R of my last name nestled in explosive consonants. It must be rude. Or perhaps, as the people who invented English, they just got fucking lazy about it. And 1,000,000 years ago, I was an actor living in Wales, which is a lot like living in a math problem that looks like toxic masculinity plus very short skirts multiplied by alcohol and divided by immaturity equals a very pretty city with a penchant for self-destruction and poor decision-making. The head of my college decided it was funny in front of the school to call me Andy Meerkat because markets was a euphemism for tits. And as he so eloquently put it, no one would pay to look at porn of you and those rodent eyes. And at their time, their Geico Gecko was a meerkat, so it stuck. Did I mention he did it at a showcase in front of the most powerful people in the industry, and that laughter became a moniker that I wore for a decade of professional auditions. It didn't matter. I was standing in the Globe spitting Shakespeare for an actor you all know until he said, "Aren't you the meerkat, love?" And in a way, it fits. I put my head down and work and burrow out of sight, instantly forgettable. I love in public, I heal in my own mob. I live out on the open grass plains, looking out, standing on my tiptoes, trying to be taller than I am, dreaming of the horizon I hope I'll get to see, scanning the room for the big scary things so I can tell you all it's coming. Today, I wear it like my armor, so I can show you that even in something born of spite, that you can bend it to your will if you own it like your own. My name is Andy Markert, but you can call me Andy Meerkat if you want. Thank you. And my other one, off prompt, is Tiny Apocalypses Painted in Moonlight. I read today that apocalypse is a Greek word for revelation, and it was enough to make me stop. I'd always thought of an apocalypse as something larger and more dire, as the time, well, we are living in now. Killer viruses, rising fascism, bitter racism, injustices ringing in gunshots, the panic staggered breath caged in solitude as we come to terms that outside is dangerous for a myriad of reasons we had never thought of or seen before now. What are we revealing about today? What revelation are we coming to so quickly? Or have we passed through 1,000 of these apocalyptic moments painted in moonlight as hands find skin and bodies meet bodies, our world exploding into ideas we would never have again, finding in warm flesh cold hard truths about the nature of our world and maybe ourselves, promising new horizons of tomorrow as our yesterdays die away suddenly? Isn't that a kind of apocalypse I can make sense of? You see, friend, I have no idea how to survive this. I have no clue how to find our salvation in the face of an apocalypse so uncertain, but perhaps there lives in the endurance of our own revelations the key to our survival. I think that mine, maybe mine, begins with you and your love, two hearts painted in apocalyptic moonlight, learning, yearning to reveal the hidden light between us before the darkness swallows us whole. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Andy.
Woo! Andy!
Yeah.
Yo, yo.
In your room?
Andy, Mark, Kurt, love it, man. Love it. I always love when he comes in and adds his energy. You should be able to unmute yourself. There you go. Brother, where can the people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Andy Meerkat with 2 T's, and I will chuck that in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you. Andy, appreciate it, man. You know what's funny is like when I saw his name first, I thought it was Meerkat. I feel bad and I know where it came from, but I'm glad that he flipped it. I'm glad he took that and flipped it on its head. Awesome. Next, coming to the open mic is a name I haven't seen before. I don't think they've been here on the Monday night online open mic, and that is Arisael Rivera. Let me unmute him. You should be able to unmute yourself now, brother. There you go. What's going on, man? Where
hey,
you located?
How's it going? Yeah, I'm in the Bronx, New York, up at like 180th Street. Yep, that's right.
that's my home borough, born and raised, man. I love it.
Yeah. Definitely raised there, man. Since I was 2 years old, man. It's my home. Yeah.
That's
so
what's
here
up.
we are.
Well, welcome to the Monday night online open mic. You ready to get into it?
Yes. Thank you. Super excited. Yeah, this is an honor to be with all these awesome poets. Great. So I have a poem. When I found out the theme, I was like, do I have anything? And I found this. I think it works. And this is called I Am Afraid. I am afraid. I'm afraid to speak anything because I'm afraid I'm wrong about everything. And even when the bad seems obvious, my approach, my words, my time dedicated to spreading the truth may be spreading a lie. And I cry. Because what I want is to save the world like Superman, flying across the universe, making my voice like an angel's trumpet sounding, but I sin in my desire, so I tend to sit back. Worried about what others might say to me, worried about what I might say to them, fearing that my words may be bullets or band-aids, and wanting neither to be the case. See, I want to feel safe. That's when it hits me. I don't feel safe. I feel unsafe, like a bird in a cage, knowing that he's able to fly, but kept locked up to be fed, ignored, limited to the small space, with feathers that scream for wind in their face. I know what I believe, and these are the words that need to come out of me, like wings spreading, air swooshing by. The problem is not that we are free, but that the powers that be don't want us to be. And again, it hits me. When you use your freedom to take away mine and your mission is no longer divine, then I realize equality is not what you seek, but equity only for those who don't look like me. You want to entrap me. You don't want me to be free, but I am free. My skin color is one part of a whole of me. My language is one part of a whole of me. My sex is one part of a whole of me. My eyes see what others do not see. I cannot see me, only what light is reflecting. We cannot see clearly, for we see with a glass darkly. The world will say I am better, I am weaker, I am lighter, I am darker. But once creed and color is placed behind the glass of the soul, I am my brother. because skin, like my skin in all its colors, will always be related to me. So when others, because of their own weaknesses, look to end my pursuit, look to end my liberty, look to end my life, human is the last word I use to describe them, right? Monstrous, evil, terrorist, weak, because you're afraid. Fear that which doesn't look like you, fear that which doesn't sound like you, fear that which doesn't live like you. That is the lie. And you may try to come at me and show me why you see the way you see, but I wasn't sent here to be taught. I was sent here to teach. There is no difference between you and me. Only the difference you created for fear of what I could be. Free. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Mr. Rivera.
Wow, that was tremendous, brother. Thank you so much.
Live,
Beautiful piece.
live.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent.
Dale, papa, dale. Dale duro.
Mr. Rivera, let me unmute yourself. Unmute yourself one more time. Where can the people find you online, sir?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter is the same thing as my name is at @Arisael_Riv. Actually, I did like a little card on my thing. So if I take the video, it has this, and you can see those are that's where you can find me. But yeah, basically, yeah, just find me on Instagram, Twitter. That's where I'm at. So
cool. Make sure you put that information into the chat as well, sir. And I hope you come back next Monday as well. Check the chat and scroll up because people are saying a lot of nice things about your poem. And we have a tradition here when we have someone who's new from New York City. I have to ask you, have you ever been to the New York Poets Cafe?
Yes, I had the pleasure to be there actually once, thanks to my little brother who came from out of town and was like, we gotta go. I'm like, I've been wanting to go. He's like, let's go. So we went one night and it was an absolute blast, man. I loved it. I'm really sad I can't be there live right now, but I will be when we get the chance.
Well, warm my heart. Thank you, man. Make sure you put that information in the chat, okay?
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you.
Thank you. Arisael Rivera. Oh, he's from the Bronx and he's been to the cafe. Warms my heart. People who've been here for a while, they knew what was about to happen, but he's been to the cafe. Okay, next coming up. Hey, listen, the fellas have been killing it. But it's time we heard from the ladies. We finally get to the ladies, and that is Diane Ward, who exclusively you can only find here in the Monday night online open mic. Now, where is she? I saw her before. Oh, there she is. I got her now. You should be able to unmute yourself, Diane.
Okay. Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And Ron rocked it like I knew he would. I went to the prompt. I looked at it a little differently, a different take on it than everyone, but, and it's not a long piece, so listen. It's called E-I-E-I-O. I'm a vegetarian, medically told to add fish biweekly to any dish. I don't do as I'm told. Suspicious, although, of this well-meaning soul. No, we don't eat donkey, but horse meat is good meat, so I'm told. If you feel like rearing up in your seat, you'll gallop alone. Do we look like or take on the characteristics of what we eat? That would explain some attitudes and physiques. I'm just a vegetarian, nothing strange in that. I grew up like you. We ate from the same worldly vat. I don't use a microwave, just a typical oven. That doesn't mean I'm in a coven. So what if I bake, saute and skewer carrots, potatoes, and onions? That doesn't mean I made a blunder. I'll read you a card I received from poets describing me after they drank Moet. Comparing me to a stout tree, I think they intended to be complimentary. I'm rooted, leafy, made of good stock. Bet I could rumble with any bullock. I have a smooth bark and silky lichen, nest that birdies jealously fight in. I have a healthy marrow and fluid, sweet sap. I branch out a lot. Well, you're proof of that. Cute, don't you think? I'm not offended. Let me explain so no one's offended. Granted, ticks bother me. Most bugs are really my friends. Growing fungi you enjoyed as mushrooms on bread. My friends in the fields, meadow, and long grasses, these grains promote healthy, robust laughter. When our ancestors wrapped a leaf with medicinal herbs, whose history had centuries of medical allure, for they knew how berries, spices, and grasses cures most anything mixed with high-grade molasses. Animal manure gives medicine's true historical muster. Just ask any field or soldier. If you could, you'd ask Custer. We work hand in leaf and bud and use bark plasters, rely upon stems and twigs green, round, and rancid. We survived as a species on this precious earth, living off animals since our earliest birth. I'm not strange because I don't eat meat. I understand how animals have made me complete. We began our nourishment with all the right foods, proteins and carbohydrates, fruits, all these jewels. Our bodies craved nourishment from moms and ruminant cows' udders. That doesn't mean, come on, let's eat each other. I respect whatever you eat, so cow, lamb chops, brains, and one available, even entrails. Your taste is your business, so respect me also. We can share a table, just not Pepto turnovers. Thank you.
Give it up for Diane. Unmute yourself. Give it
that
up
was
for her.
Yeah, that
beautiful,
was
Diane.
great.
That
Yeah,
Very nice.
was wow.
Very much on point. Diane Ward, you be able to unmute yourself one more time. That is
Thank
Diane
you.
Ward. Thank you so much. I love your energy, and I love the fact that the only place people can find you is here exclusively or hanging out with Ron Mark Thompson. So thank you, Diane. I appreciate you so much. That was Diane Ward. And again, if you want to follow her, you see more of her, you got to check out the Monday Night Online Open Mic. She is currently off the grid spreading truth. So next coming to, we're at the top of the hour. So let me handle business real quick. One more time. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube and you'd like to join us on Zoom, the number is in the bottom left-hand corner, 279-995-364. We would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our online free events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at nuyorican.org/contribute, or you can send money to our Cash App, Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Also, I forgot to give a shout out to our producer for the evening, and that is Mr. Nick Luis. 2 weeks ago, he shared a poem over here because y'all inspired him. Also, you guys might remember one of our other producers, Emily, who hasn't been in a while. She actually performed too. She's coming back next week. I'm not sure in what capacity, but she will be back. I know a lot of people have asked, and people are asking, do we have an open mic next week? Because next Monday's Labor Day. And yes, we are going to have an open mic. I will be here. So if you want to be here, come join me. So next coming up is a gentleman who has one of the coolest names right now, I think, on the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and that is J. Martin Strangeweather. Isn't that be awesome to be a poet and like your real last name is Strangeweather? That's awesome. Bro, what's going on? How are you?
I'm feeling really good. Tonight has been a very powerful night here. There's been a lot of powerful pieces read. So
yes, sir.
I didn't know that the theme was animals, but I think prophetically, I wrote the theme of next week. I wrote about equilibrium. And I think a couple other people that have read here tonight inadvertently have done equilibrium too.
Yep.
So
we ahead of the curve, man. I can't keep up with y'all. Y'all ahead of the curve. So I'm gonna mute myself and let you get into it. Go ahead.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. Today's history lesson. The limit of my mind is the limit of my body. The limit of my body is the limit of my universe. The limit of my universe is the limit of my language. The limit of my language is the limit of my mind. Pharaoh Ramses III was betrayed by his concubines, who slit his throat. Julius Caesar was stabbed 30 times by the senators of Rome. Caligula was stabbed an equal number of times to end his bloody reign. Pretty much every Roman emperor met their end by assassination. Makes you wonder what the appeal of so much power was. The world speaks through hearts. Hearts speak through dreams. Dreams speak through prophets. Prophets speak through poems. The dream of the world is spoken through the poem in the heart of the prophet. Emperor Fu Sheng was tied to the end of a horse and dragged through the streets. Vlad the Impaler was cut to pieces and his head was given to his enemy as a gift. King Henry III of France was gutted like a fish by a messenger. King Charles I of England had his head lopped off with an axe for treason. King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were beheaded by guillotine in the town square. Benito Mussolini was shot to death by a firing squad and then hung on a meat hook in the town square for everyone to spit upon. Hitler blew his brains out in a bunker before anyone else could get to him. Our history lessons are written in blood on parchments of human flesh. And every century teaches the same lesson. Spill enough innocent blood into the scales of justice, and the balancing beam will eventually tip against the favor of gold.
Unmute yourself and give it up for J. Martin Strangeweather.
Martin.
Yeah.
Woo!
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
The parchment of human flesh. Oh, I wish I wrote that line. Sir, where can the people find you online?
I have a website, jmartinstrangeweather.com. I'm selling a book there and some other stuff. Whatever. It's really fun just to be here.
Thank you, sir. Make sure though that you put that information in the chat in case people want to connect with you. All right. I appreciate the fact that you're here for the art and the love, but be here for the community too. So make sure you put that info in the chat so people can connect with you. Okay.
Cool, man. Yep. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. J. Martin Strangeweather. I love that last name. Why couldn't my parents have that last name? All right, moving forward. Next, coming all the way from Japan is Poetak. There he is. Let me unmute him. And he's got his cell phone and video lined up. Brother, what's going on? How are you?
Okay. Thank you. Hey, Adobo. Thanks for introducing my channel to your friend, Adobo.
Yeah, and he's gonna reach out to you soon so you could do a video. So it's for a gig, but I'll talk to you later about it. You can get into your poetry now, okay, brother?
Oh, have you got my email yet?
Yeah, I got your email. Yeah, we good.
Yeah, please send me if you need it. When I watched this theme 3 weeks ago, I wanted to write a tribute to Stanley Kubrick, Space Odyssey. It's a history of mankind. So I tried to express by the movie. I hope you all like it. Animal, hush. Animal come down from the tree. Began to walking to the field. Animal used the stones there. Animal kill their enemies. Animal, hush. Animal sow the seed. I got the legacy skills. Animal organize colonies. じゃんけんいなねも出てばい。にも尽きず、雨ども変わらぬ秋の夜の、杯影も傾く入り江に枯れ立つ足元よろよろと、酔いに伏したる枕の夢を結ぶと思えば、泉はそのまま月瀬の宿こそめでたけれ、ああめでたけれ。アニモ、hush, hush. Animal ever but to rent into money economy. The open stock exchange. You made a lot of tons and trends. Animal, hush, hush. Animal encephalogenous. The Sarah hierarchy. God take the place of God. Shippo worship the knockout. Animal, hush, hush. Animal find a black hole, build a nuclear weapons, cut the chromosomes ribbons, fair COVID has been dinosaur. Abuses me, I'm on air, never feel recurring virus. If you want more service, you have to pay for the extra. Animal, hush, hush. Animal start a new war for going to Mars. Only priorities ago. Animals more than animal. Animal. Hush, hush. They took me to heaven. Well, I decide. Talk about euthanasia. Immortal what's up? Animal. Hush, hush. Animal, where do we go wrong? Possible to turn around. Are we all so down? Get back the forest together. Animal. Get back the forest together. Animal. Get back the mother forest together. Animal. Hush, hush. When it's dark enough, you can't see the stars. Animal. Hush, hush, animal.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Poetic. Some animal noises there, right there. You saw that. You should be able to unmute yourself one more time, brother. Always bringing something different. I love it. Where can the people find you online?
All right. This is my channel. Shall we go to Mars, Adobo? Yes. Please, if you want to watch this movie, please access. Thank you all, guys. Adobo, everybody. Poetry brings me a lot of friends from the world. I appreciate for you. Thanks. See you around.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I'm gonna be in contact with you soon, like I said. That dude is so awesome. Check out his YouTube page, all right? Make sure you go check out his YouTube page. Make sure you put the info in the chat too so that people can see it as well. Okay, so next coming up from the Bronx is a Monday night mainstay and a Thursday night mainstay. She's just a New York mainstay, and that is Roz. Through her big brown eyes. You should be able to unmute yourself, Roz. There you go. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good. Enjoying the night so far. Excited to hear you. You ready to get into it?
Yes. I actually don't know if I performed this on a Monday before or a Thursday, but y'all gonna have to bear with me because I've been writing so much, I don't even know. It's called Caterpillar to Chrysalis. Look at you, you've made it this far. To many, you're a shining star. Every single obstacle that threatened to end you only made you stronger. The promise of purpose pushed you out of bed, even if the snooze button and your sheets held you captive just a little longer. And some days you took pride in leaving the world on red. Sometimes being productive meant whispering a thank you speech to your heart and lungs for doing their job that day. Standing ovation and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame because on the outside you looked more than okay. Who knew that drama class you took senior year of high school would pay off someday? Many times the smiles were disingenuous, survival, an act worthy of global recognition. If only people could listen to all words unspoken, because the best warriors were once a little broken. So crumble that grocery list and wipe that vision board clean, and realize that truly what makes you a queen, once dead, trying to look alive, bad makeup job by a shitty mortician, you're on a mission now. People, thank you for your help, your words, and your contributions, dedicating yourself to always finding solutions because you've had to be your own heroine. You tend to forget the whirlwind of sin that you escaped. No superpowers, no cape, caterpillar to chrysalis, undergoing metamorphosis. You came armed with your voice, that take no shit gaze and chronic resting bitch face. So if ever a man grants himself permission to any parts of your body without consent, he must prepare for the wrath and the torment. The next time a narcissist wants to use their tricks, let your boundaries hit them like a ton of bricks. Manipulation, frustration will no longer force tears down your face. Now you can give yourself your place, self-love, self-awareness. You can put up a good fight. Be the abuser's kryptonite because guilt and shame have been evicted from you. Not ashamed to say the words me too. You speak your truth. Silence is hardly ever golden. And you can save many with your story. Go on, queen, tell it. Set yourself free. Be the beautiful butterfly you were meant to be. End poem.
That was Roz. Wait, let me unmute yourself and give it up for Roz.
Hey, Roz. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go, Roz. Thank you.
Repping the Bronx, Roz. Go ahead, Roz. You should be able to unmute yourself and let the people know where they can find you.
So you guys can find me on Instagram at Through Her Big Brown Eyes, which I'm putting in the chat. Though most of you already follow me, but for those who don't, I'm putting it in right now. I also have my website, throughherbigbrowneyes.com, okay?
Awesome.
Love you guys.
Thank you, Roz. Repping my home borough, the Bronx, through herbigbrowneyes.com and on Instagram through her big brown eyes. That's Roz. Now we're going to go back to Abraham, see if we can hear him. You should be able to unmute yourself, Abraham. You there?
Yes, can you hear me?
No, breaking up again.
Okay.
Let's see, maybe if you try to turn your video off, let's try it that way.
The video's off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it sounds bad. It keeps breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
A little. It sounds electronic-y. That's how I would say. It sounds really electronic-y. It's rough.
Okay. Somebody said I was too close to the mic, so I kind of backed away from it a little bit. So is it better now?
It's a little better. All right, let's try. If it sounds too bad again, I'll have to try to cut you off. You gotta try to find the spot we can hear you clearly, because I know you had the issue on Thursday too. Yeah. But let's give it a run. Go ahead.
Okay, so this piece is called Mr. Wolfman. Mr. Wolfman, I'll be the first to admit you have a strong entrepreneurial spirit, running a highly successful business, selling millions of wolf tickets with your awesome gift for gab, making people think you're so bad because you conceived a lot of folk to give you all their precious gold, telling them you're a cold-blooded savage that nobody has the gall to challenge. But when a cat with balls got in your face, you took off running away in disgrace. I heard straight from the horse's mouth. You get scared when shit goes down south. So your scary ass decides to stay up north, hiding in the back of your mama's front porch in your comfort zone, still barking smack without the courage to bite when under attack. Still want to claim to be the alpha dog, but when told to jump, you leap like a frog. I bet my last dollar you ain't got the heart to live in a pool infested with sharks because you a mouthpiece without a backbone. Man, you need a cane, not a microphone. First rule of engagement, learn to walk before you open your mouth and start to talk. Stand up straight with your neck tall as a giraffe, or these cat claws will cut your ass in half. In this dog-eat-dog world, only the strong survive. If you want to make it out in one piece alive, I suggest you, Mr. Wolfman, close down your shop, leave the loop behind, then make like a bunny and hop. And for the second piece, it's called Partying with Two Animals. If there is a word that best describes the sexually political orientation of America, it would be bipartisan. This 13-stripe and 50-star freak of nature swings both ways, partying with two animals in the spirit of bestiality. She enjoys the painful sensation of a sadistic elephant penetrating her with his bent up, out of shape white tusk, while the donkey unpeels his banana to liberally jerk off in her face. America's mouth and vagina are widely open, anxiously ready to take blank shots of ejaculated promises of freedom, liberty, and justice her womb will never conceive. These bitter red and blue pills she quickly swallowed. Sadly, these two party animals are perfectly okay with America's unwillingness to birth humanity. Even worse, America is perfectly okay with this too. All three of them look at it as a win-win situation. America can enjoy the best of both worlds, have her cake and eat it too, while the elephant and donkey take turns fucking America without borders, without fear of responsibility to change their economic ideology, to transform the systems they brought into this world for Black and brown civilians they reject as sons and daughters, treated like hardcore criminals, deserving of imprisonment and death. This problematic menage-a-trois arrangement between a gold digger and two animalistic capitalists will continue to work in their favor as long as America is making millions off of enslaving and murdering our bodies by sucking off the pig's feet. She will never defund the police or abolish prisons. This monumental task is up to us to dismantle by any and all means necessary in the names of independence and liberation from the Democratic and Republican plantations. Thank you.
Unmute yourself, give it up for Abraham.
I'm so glad that you got connected,
Good
bro.
job, Abraham. Thank you. I'm glad
Thank
we could
you.
hear you. Yes, thank you.
That was Abraham. We're able to finally connect with him. I'm gonna unmute him one more time so we can find out where we can follow him online. Abraham, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah, all I did was just pretty much move my phone back, and I kind of moved it to my right, so I guess that worked out for the good. You guys can find me at Instagram at Solar Blackness. I will put that in the chat. That's where I put all of my poems, haiku poems, and a few long ones too, but mostly haiku. All right, thank you guys again.
Thank you, Abraham. That was Abraham. Make sure you go check him out. He's going to put the info in the chat. Glad we were able to get to him. Next coming up is our favorite wild card, and that is the Withdrawn. There he is. Oh shoot! Are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing?
Do right on.
First time seeing it with a do-rag. He about to get real wild tonight. Is that what it is? We gonna get wild tonight?
Yeah, the braids are tight.
All right, brother, get. I'm gonna mute myself. You get into it.
All right, so I got two pieces, one short, one long. I want to fuck you like a rabbit. No, I'm just playing. We're not going there today. All right, the first one is called Just Because We're Always in a Rush Doesn't Mean We Have to Rush Them Too. We already know animals understand presence better than us. The next time you walk your dog, allow them to take a quick whiff of that poop, that tree, to stare down the other dog, to be curious about their surroundings. Don't rush their walk just because, one, you don't want to walk them in the first place. So 2, you have to. Allow them to enjoy their freedom, fun, and time outside just as you do, doing whatever it is that you do. That is where they find their excitement. So the next time you walk your dog, allow them to just be. And the second one is called What Up, Dog? Sometimes I feel lonely. I'm always happy to wake up with you, and then you leave. I'm pretty sure the neighbors get annoyed when they hear me cry, but I never wanted you to leave in the first place. You work all day, and I feel so elated when you get back. You hug and kiss me, but I know that those don't last very long. Before we know it, you pull out your phone, and you hold it longer than you hold me. You stare into the screen longer than I'm paid any mind. I bring over a toy, and you throw it. You're too into your phone to realize that it wasn't even a ball. It was a rope. And so I guess I'd be stuck tugging at it alone. Maybe if you got me a friend, I could tug with him or her. And now I whine. But you just tell me to shut up as you're trying to watch TV. Allow me to speak, because I'm trying to tell you that I need to be taken outside so that I can pee. But minutes pass, and I give up trying to get you to listen. So I end up going to a place I shouldn't. And then you hit me. Followed by posting a video on Snapchat saying, "Look what he just did. Bad boy, bad boy." And for those few seconds, that's the most attention I've gotten today since I've seen you. For the rest of the night, the rest of your interest goes into what you're holding. The process repeats with how little to no love I'm shown daily. And sometimes I feel lonely when you're not home and when you are. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for the Withdrawn.
Yay, Withdrawn.
Yo, got my puppy here with me. Loved it. Loving it.
Oh, feel dogs.
The Withdrawn. Always the wild card, man. Never know what he's gonna come with. He came like so soft and nice tonight. He's like a puppy, man. That's what's up. Brother, where can the people find you online?
Thank you guys. At The Withdrawn on Instagram, thewithdrawn.com. Thank you guys so much. I love you always, and thank you.
Appreciate it. That is The Withdrawn, thewithdrawn.com, on all social media at The Withdrawn. He's going to put his info in the chat. Before we move forward real quick, I want to shout out some audience members. Luis Santiago, he's been checking in with us for several weeks. I've noticed that. Just Joy has been active in the chat, giving love. Jane Spoken Word is having a little party on her chair while watching us. Luciana is watching. Hey, Luciana, she always watches. Net Vega always giving us love. Someone new named Angel. I don't know Angel, but I've seen them blowing up the chat. Same thing with Cannon. Rich Glennon, he's not an open mic. He's one of our favorites, but he's here giving love. So I saw it. North Mathematics. I see him talking a lot once I unmute people, giving people a lot of love. Annie is here. I swear to God, she's in photography. The background in her shots is always so beautiful. Mariela Cabrera, Trisha De Jesus, always giving love to Mashid, DGC, the homie Overdose, and Umberto. So some people that I've been recognizing. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep checking the chats. But I always love to show love to the people who are not on the list but are giving energy. With that being said, next coming up is from the Philippines. Tonight we have 2 people from the Philippines, which is really awesome. And it's like 9:30 a.m. their time. First, we're going with Indigo Pie. Let me unmute Indigo. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Morning.
Good morning. This is the second week in a row you're with us. I love it. How are you this morning?
Good. I'm very awake. I'm really excited about not even me, about the other Filipino that's in here.
Yep, they're coming up 3 or 4 spots after you.
I know. It's like I was talking to Trisha recently, and it's like more Filipinos in the wider space. Okay, let's do this. So hi, good morning. My name is Indigo. I'm in the Philippines. It is 9:30 in the morning, and So the theme is animal, and I've actually been trying to write more poetry of a certain style. So I decided to test it out today because what better place to test run things than the New York Times, right? Okay, let's do this. The lights don't have to be dimmed. They were killed hours ago. What would have been sashimi for dinner is in the refrigerator on hold. On the second hour, it was clear you weren't coming home on time. So whatever semblance of a date there would have been is now lost, like tossed out chicken bread. But that's all right. I know you were wrong because as soon as you walked in the door, you looked at me with guilty eyes. As soon as I hear your footsteps, I already know you're not going to want this prize. So sure, okay, you're late again. You didn't come on time again. But I'm still going to be here. Stretched out, laid bare, in full view of your weary eyes, avoiding your meaty stare. And I know what you're about to do. I can see it in your face. I see the way your fingers reach for me gingerly in my resting place. And that's all right. Do what you want. I'm giving you my full consent. I am upset with you, but I missed you more. The world is on fire, and I know that it is a miracle every time you come through that door. So, all right. Okay. I will give you this. I will let you allow us to be together in bliss. I will let you come home to me, as you should. I will let you reach for me, take me in your arms, hold me like you always would. I will let you. I understand. And yes, my claws are out. I'm ready to play a little bit, but just a little. You see, I am upset, but not upset enough to surrender us being together, managing playtime, managing any time I can get with you at this point, at this juncture, because I love you too much to see you suffer. So all right, you missed dinner, and all right, you missed everything else, but you came home to me, as you should. And at the end of the day, you're always going to be the one who treats this wet ass pussy really good. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Indigo.
Go, go. Shake it, pa. Shake it, pa.
What a flip at the end. I was not ready for that. I was like, what? Did I hear that right? Indigo, you should be able to unmute yourself one more time so you can let the people know where they can find you.
I'll let you guys in on a secret first. I wrote that in 10 minutes. I had something else planned, and then I kind of decided my landlady is watching this, so hi, this is what I do in this apartment. My boyfriend is watching this, so hi. Yeah, over here, I'm on PayPal, first of all. I'm on Instagram, it's Indigo Pie Poetry. I have a Facebook page, but I'm working on that. And I have a YouTube channel, but I'll probably share it next week if I get in. But yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be in Leo Fam. It's so good to be here.
Thank you.
I love y'all.
Thank you, Indigo. We love you. Indigo Pie. Make sure that you go check Indigo out on Instagram. Oh, so like I said, we got more people from the Philippines coming up. That's what's up, man. We're global. I'm loving it. Next coming up, he is known as Headliner Con Queso, aka Rosie's lesser half, aka Paul con queso, aka something's wrong with him because he doesn't like shrimp. I mean, like, right? What it was shrimp or what was it? Or lobster?
Sushi, my G, sushi.
Sushi.
Yeah, I love shrimp. Shrimps are great. Shrimps are great, but I don't know. It's mainly just like the tuna. It's the fish that I don't like in the sushi. I'll eat some other sushi as long as it's like shrimp sushi. Ironically enough.
We're gonna get you some sushi. We're gonna get you some sushi you like. But right now,
I gotta be converted.
Yes, there you go. You gotta be just like you were converted to a Monday kid. We're gonna convert you to a sushi lover. All right, Paul, you ready to do this?
I'm ready to rock.
Yeah.
I got two pieces today. The first one, they're both animal titled and themed. The first one is for my mom because it's the 12-year anniversary of us losing her. So this one's called Buck. The generation raised on Nook, if you buck, how you gonna not expect us to tear shit up? Ironically enough, my mother raised me to respect women and love everyone, no matter gender, religion, or skin tone, but that still wasn't the remedy to prevent her from death sentence because she had no health coverage. And the government refused to chip in a single buck. My niece tried to wake her up the next morning, of the very night that she died, tried to shake her from deepest slumber, gunned like a doe, a deer, a female deer in hunting season. Hardened artery head shot her down, leaving behind baby buck Bambis to fend for self. And all we got from her will was the debt no body could cover, regardless she consigned to me her bomb-ass music taste, Bowie, Prince, and Marvin Gaye. Because of her, I'm a feminist, inherited her manic depression, and I believe she bestowed this tendency to love everyone at levels I could never receive, and I get too fixed on temporary remedies, addictive tendencies, and when she went, I became my fiercest enemy, dependency on approval from women both foreign and in my bed, this chemical need to be recognized, to have thin thighs, to punish self for all the help I never once reached out for when she could have been here, to see me decocoon into the man I finally grew to be. Broken boys bloom into even more broken men, and that's what they never tell you when they tell you you'll grow out of it. The song I always promised her, listening to old school Kanye back before he lost his mind, when he lost his mom too. Sometimes I feel like a child stuck in the body of some bigger being, trapped in his ribs, shaking the cage of this penitentiary, desperately heckling the older inmates who wish for me never to be released. So I revert, rechrysalis, and shrink into myself. See, it's my instinct to go blank at times I'm most intimate, and maybe that's my survivor's guilt, knowing that I'm alive. Yet that boy inside is crying out to be held and felt and healed, as well as heard, that every word I feed myself is one step closer to becoming the man I promised her back when I sang, "Hey mama, I want to scream so loud for you." And my second, I just wrote today because we fucking lost Chadwick Boseman, and that's been fucking me up for the past few days. So this is called Panther. It was 2002 when they found my Uncle Lou's brain tumor. This man, the first who ever made me value the strength of my heart over physical, my middle namesake, Lewis, which stands for renowned warrior. He was a fighting king, facing down his greatest threat to date, knowing the malignant growth in his brain was inoperable. Still, he chose to forego chemo and other less conventional treatments, so it was no surprise to us when he died. A long trial of his faculties declining until hospice was only option, but seeing the light, pulling from the other side, doesn't mean it gutted me any less. Didn't mean I could process or felt I was prepared in any way to let go. I never let anyone outside my family know he was sick, not a single friend, because telling them meant it was really happening. Chadwick Boseman told next to no one outside his team that he was suffering when he was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. His too was unfortunately too gone for surgery. He made it his priority to keep working, keep pushing, keep clawing, keep going beyond the ethereal realm with all the prowess of a Panther King, as not to decrease velocity and feel the fatigue, face the reality that sometimes we are not as invincible as we play on TV, that no man is made of vibranium, and yet to us, Chadwick was every bit the superhuman he played in a fictional cinematic universe. King T'Challa took us all with to Wakanda, normalizing Black royalty, Black excellence, Black kids like my nephew seeing themselves on the screen, heroes they could finally dress as for Halloween without the sense of imposter posturing, feeling underseen, invisible as the bubble cloaking Wakanda from reality. He was the promised king we deserve, but not the one we get to keep. In Yoruba belief, death is not the end of life. Rather, it's an opportunity to transition from one existence to another. You see, the Ogbetis, or ignorant folk, often fear death, like all things they don't understand, because yes, the unknown, the hereafter, is terrifying. But the Yoruba build their lives around three things: children, wealth, and immortality, and many believe only through death can you achieve that. To go from an oat tree only seeding one field to becoming one with the earth, which fertilizes and feeds innumerable trees, animals, and human beings, your essence becomes 200 hills and mountains immovable. In the movie, when he was killed, T'Challa was given the nectar from the heart-shaped herb, pestled into liquid and poured down his throat. And this alone brought him back from the ancestral plane, where he was deep within a dialogue about legacy with his father by the tree of afterlife. But this is reality. We cannot feed a man the nectar of anything to selfishly bring him back. We must keep draining this nectar to memory, like the Black Mamba before him, like my mama, like Uncle Lou, keeping their stories alive. Chadwick will continue to live in perpetuity, like royalty, the most regal purple bloom you have ever seen, plucked from the tree far too soon. Yet we will do all we can to plant his legacy, feeding seeds of the countless sprouts to come. So I ask now, what fear of death remains if we root ourselves here through the ancestral plane? And just like Wakanda, our spirit lives on forever.
Unmute yourself and give it up for
Wow.
Paul.
Wow.
Damn.
Eso. Todo está frito ahí, papá. Gracias.
Caliente, caliente.
Paul con queso. You should be able to unmute yourself one more time. Rest in peace to Mama Queso. Rest in peace to Chadwick, man. Yeah, that Chadwick one, that hurt me too, man.
That hit me so hard, man. Like, he's so young and he had like so much to get. Fuck cancer, man. Fuck cancer.
Yup. I lost my mom to cancer, and now
I'm sorry to hear
one
that,
of my
brother.
favorite superheroes, and then hearing your poem about your mom. It was beautiful, brother.
And when you put that post up, man, I was like, you know, we both part of the Dead Moms Club. It's the shittiest club to be in, but only if you're in that club do you know the pain and the gaping hole it leaves. You know, in any moment that means something, you're like, yo, I just want to call my mama up, but you can't, you know? So yeah, brother, sending love to you, man. Appreciate you.
You too, man. You too. I appreciate you always being vulnerable with us. Paul, where can the good people find you?
Y'all can find me at Paul Con Queso on IG and Venmo. If you follow my IG, there's a link tree to buy I Can't Breathe magazine, which is my students and my social justice magazine. All profits going to social justice nonprofits, charities. All right, thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. That is Paul con Queso. Also had some people on the Monday night online mic, they were been in his magazine. So make sure you give him a follow, see what he's doing. He's liking to publish stuff. So get at it, man. We talk about building community. Let's build community. Paul is one of those dudes. Also, I wanted to give a shout out. Let me make sure that he's still here. I think Lynn is still here. Lynn Lane. Yeah, I see him here. Lynn Lane. He's also been given the Monday night online open mic a lot of love. And he's a photographer. So make sure you check out his Instagram. So if you're there, Lynn, make sure you put your info in the chat. Just shouted you out. All right. Next coming up is someone who's new to the Monday night, but I know he was on this past Thursday, and that is Nick Paleologos. I hope I said that name right. If I said it wrong, he can correct me. Yeah, you should be able to unmute yourself.
I believe that is very close. It's Paleologos almost, but that's very good. I have to say that's really good. Nobody really gets on the first time, so don't think that it's like don't feel bad. It's okay. All the times throughout grade school and high school, and everybody pronounced my last name wrong. I'm like, damn. I got a bad name.
So the last name is Greek, right?
It is Greek, absolutely.
All right, yeah,
100%.
I grew up with a bunch of kids in my neighborhood who were Greek, so I'm somewhat familiar with the last name. Say the last name again one more time for me.
Paleologos. Paleologos.
Paleologos.
There you go.
Nice. Where are you located, Nick?
I'm in Jersey myself, actually. The one who read before, Mr. Paul himself. I helped Paul out with the book too as well. I Can't Breathe. One of the board members. Even also, I'm in the book too as well.
All right, so this is why Paul's doing so well. Because of you, we found it. We found the ghostwriter. All right.
Hey, whoa, it's not just me involved. It's not just Paul. It's a collective group of people that was involved. And we all busted our asses and we put out an amazing book. And I'm blown away by how much talent is in here. It's amazing.
That's
amazing.
Well, now I'm eager to hear you. You ready to add to the energy?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Go ahead,
So
brother.
I'm gonna read two. Unfortunately, I could not get one of my pieces done for the theme. One of them was going to be a Black Panther theme around it, but I wasn't able to finish it. And I'm going to read one piece that is related to the theme, and I'm going to read one from the book too. So this first one is called "One Lie Leads to 10,000 Webs." Maybe we could find peace in this forum. Let's take a moratorium from us. Maybe I can find you again. Maybe you can mend the stitches on my broken heart. Maybe we can unite again like civil citizens. I know that is not the case within my mind. My heart wants you back. Here I am trying to unravel the 10,000 webs weaved by the lies and deceptions, with a purpose to break out of what is now and to go back into the portal back home. I'm screaming out for you to listen. The spiders weave more webs to silence my beckoning. This is the day of reckoning. It is done over and done with. No more questioning. That one, that one's the first one. This one's from the book I Can't Breathe, and it's called "A Letter That You Will Never Throw Away." Dear Commissioner, why weren't you with it? Why weren't you with Kaepernick? Why did you protest his kneel? It wasn't until multiple Black people were slaughtered. It took your players or products, as you see them, to literally say that you and the league do not tolerate racism and the systemic oppression of Black people. The NFL does not stand for National Football League. It stands for not fully logical. Commissioner, that has been the case with the league, more so now that you have been in charge. You could have stood with Kaepernick instead of just idly standing by like the spineless and robotic person you are. The silence then and up until now spoke volumes more than the revenue your league has made. It's diabolical. I suppose it is better late than never, Commissioner. This is my favorite game, and you have marred it forever. All for the sake of money, which you and the owners are to blame. You might be apologetic. You might be excuse me, you might be then again you might be greedy. I have no idea what is in your head. Make sure that those donations are being utilized as best as possible. Lastly, support your products in this movement or be lost in the revolution. Sincerely, a disappointed NFL fan.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Nick.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think a lot of us are disappointed.
That hat, though.
Thank you.
Nick Paleologos. Let me unmute him one more time so we can hear from him. Nick, where can the people find you online, brother?
You can find me on Instagram. It's at the real Nick P, and I'm gonna drop it right now in the chat. There is a lot of fraud. Nick P's running around. There's only one real one. That's me. That's where you can find me right now. I'm going to be working on a website soon to get up soon as possible. And amongst other things too, as well as amongst his books too as well. And yeah, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad I've had the chance to listen to many, many people and that have performed, and they were all impressive. And I'm looking forward to more people performing and to more performances coming up too as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Don't be a stranger now. Nick Paleologos. I'm going to keep working on that name so it just rolls off the tongue. Make sure you guys give Nick a follow. So we are now going back to the Philippines, as I promised, and I met this young man on Saturday when I hosted the Bronx Bound Books open mic. He came through and ripped it, and he wanted to come through today. So this is LKN. Brother, you should be able to unmute yourself. There you go. How are you?
I'm good. It's almost 10 a.m. And it's great to be here. Thank you.
Real quick, did you bring me my caramelized bacon?
You know what? Next time I will.
All right. Like when we found out Nick was in the Philippines and it was the morning, he was eating caramelized bacon. You don't show up to my shows with bacon and not give me. So, okay. Go ahead, brother. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to let you get into it.
All right. I actually prepared a piece that some of the people here know, like Indigo and Andy. But I got affected by Paul Conqueso's piece. So I'm gonna do impromptu right now. I know there are many grim nights that lingers in our midst, that every single window seal seems to be tainted with the black metal, locking inside the very rimming of our hands, fingers locked down on the side, trying to grapple. But there will be nights where you will find that raven outside, tweeting like it was their music that's going to be humming an eternal plight that you will not be able to run away from. It will run after you, run after you, run after you. And whatever speed you have on your feet, no matter how much wind you have on your wings, it will catch on. It will catch you. And when it does, you will have the shackles with a gleaming light, like it was dear paradise humming for you, but you will not want it, maybe not just yet. And you will hold on the tears, those blood-sucked screams inside of you, say, maybe not now. You will request for a pause, but a stop will come. And you know it. And when it does, all of the silence in the world will be kept in a vacuum with a single sigh, that breath that will have to signify that every single love given, every single love received, every single embrace that touched you and you touched will all be just a fainted memory, and nothing else will come after but nothingness.
Unmute yourself and give it up for LKN.
Yeah.
Great.
Wow, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Oh.
Pause.
Philippines is representing today, this morning for them. LKN, brother, where can the people find you online?
I'm on Instagram. You can follow me. That's the LKN Poetry. And yeah, and I'll see you guys around in next Monday, yeah?
Yep. Every Monday at 8 a.m. for you, man. Bring the caramelized bacon, okay? Brother, thank you for joining us, man. Welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
That was LKN getting up early in the morning for us. Y'all better go give that dude a follow. LKN, put your information into the chat. Next coming up is the apple of my eye, and that is Catherine. Let me unmute Catherine, my favorite lady. How are you, Catherine?
Hey, Advocate. I want to give a big shout out to you for having to handle all of us complaining yesterday how to sign up, especially me. I freaked out, and you are so chill. Kudos. You're a really nice person.
I try. I love y'all. I want to make sure I try to do right by y'all. I'm really sorry about yesterday. But like I said, I spoke with the cafe and we're already set for next week. So
Well, with my anxiety, man, as you see, I don't deal well with stuff like that. And tomorrow's full moon, and we have a tree with about 40 crows just freaking out. So welcome to the birds. So tonight is animal. And what I did was called a shape-shifting poem. And well, first, I want to dedicate this because, you know, this last weekend was pretty heavy with the March on Washington, the anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream, and the anniversary of Emmett Till. And I'd like to dedicate this to all the martyrs that have gone before us. And as a shapeshifter, this particular human, I am sure, was Joseph Goebbels' German Shepherd. See if you can figure out who it is, although you'll know soon enough. Are you a Kardashian or are you a conscious soul, what blacks call being woke? So are all you woke yet? Better hurry up, get it together before we're all dead. Carbon emissions higher than any time in human history, not this bad since 3 million years ago, scientists cite. And the ice caps are melting so fast, there are ice cap rains. And how are we gonna change that? How are we gonna fix that? Uh-oh, we'd be on the wrong side of the environmental fight. Thanks, Trumpster. Thanks oh so much, you Agent Orangehead, you silly strumpets. Better hurry up and stop 5G from happening ever, because the entire world's population is going to be zapped, and especially little babies' heads. Wow, why doesn't our government at least pretend to care? Nope, in a race with China to see who gets there first instead. Uh-oh, we'd be on the wrong side of the environmental fight. Thanks, Trumpster, thanks a lot. Oh, Agent Orangehead, you silly strumpet. And is there going to be a war with Iran or China? How about with our good friends, Russia or North Korea? If so, you better take note because it's all just a diversion, folks. While Satan's minions cut more and more freedoms from us, not to mention l'objet désir, we still hold of impeachment. Oh, my dears, really, Congress, what was the frickin' holdup anyway? Uh-oh, they be on the wrong side of the environmental fight too? Thanks, Trumpster. Thanks oh so much, you Agent Orangehead, you silly Nazi strumpet. And why are celebrity models and actors even still in fashion? Don't they know their obscene displays aren't ever welcome? Don't they know their extravagant lifestyles aren't aspired to? Indulgence is extreme, but are they also helping people on the streets? That's what I want to know. That's what I'd like to show. Well, so are you a Kardashian or are you a conscious soul, what blacks call being woke? Hey, are y'all woke yet?
Unmute yourself and give it up for Catherine.
There you go.
Yeah, you should smile at that. That was good.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay,
that was Catherine. Let me unmute her. Hold on, Catherine. You should be able to unmute yourself one more time.
So I have a website, and on it, there are links to my Facebook. I have to read this or I'll forget. My music on SoundCloud and my spoken word stuff on my YouTube channel. Can you see that? I made it bigger. I started small. I'm not good at promoting myself. I'm getting better though because of you guys, okay? Thank you for letting me share.
Awesome. Thank you, Catherine. That was Catherine. Make sure that you give her a follow. Always love having her on. I adore her energy. Next coming up is the very first person I've ever had to mute here on the Monday Night Online Open Mic. And I saw her before, but where did she go? Where is Arson the poet? There she is. Let me unmute her.
Hello.
Long time no see. How have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad you're back. We have muted like a dozen people since you know, but it's the trend started with you. I didn't plan on doing it. It was just like that knee-jerk reaction, and it worked. You are a part of New York history.
You know, I've always wanted to be a trendsetter, and if that's the trend I've set, oh my God. Oh, I need a wall of shame. That's what I need. But I have one really quick piece for you guys, and I can't believe I had to follow Catherine. That was like power right there. But okay, we'll do it. I'm gonna try.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this poem goes with the theme. It's called Lioness. I may have done this before, but I don't remember. So here we go. Lioness. I am a woman. You will hear me roar. Just like the lioness, I am built to hunt my prey and feed my pride. You try to silence me, but you forget that even the fact of your very existence is because of the power of a woman. You spread your legs wide, trying to display your dominance. forcing me to have to inconvenience myself by standing, assuming that the message you are sending is that my role is to be subservient to you. You forget that my body is the same body that inhabits and brings to life a new body just by spreading my legs wide. One accidental blow in between yours will close them instantaneously. A whole head, body, legs, and arms cuts through mine, and still mine won't, don't, and cannot close. So you dare silence my roar? That's irony, since my roar is what nurtures you, supports you, and also allows you to feel like a man when you lay beside me in bed. The same roar that supports you when you feel, inadequate. You dare diminish that? You call my roar a bitch while taking credit for my ideas because you are too inadequate to think on your own. The same roar that graciously allows you to do that while silently commending herself for thinking of the idea, you dare silence that. Interesting. The same roar whose name you enjoy moaning in ecstasy, now you call a slut, a dumb bitch because she left you after losing her patience with your bullshit, after patiently tolerating it for several years, you wish to silence that. Let me just remind you that a lioness cannot be tamed. You can keep making your meek attempts, but I will always roar. A lioness, no matter the distress, will always remain majestic and have grace. We continue to roar, continue to hunt, continue to remain fierce, even when the lion sleeps. The lion tries to outroar the lioness, yet the lioness is the one who gets the hunt. Just like you try to shut down my strong female energy, and yet I still continue to flourish. I am female. I endure. I am female. I prosper. I am female. I will roar, and you will hear me roar. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Arson the Poet.
Poetry in the house.
Should be president.
So good.
That was Arson the Poet. Hear her roar. She's still upset I muted her. That's what it is. Now I'm joking. Again, you should be able to unmute yourself. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Great poem. I love the energy. Where can the people find you online?
Thank you. I actually did a whole revamp. I had 2 pages before, but now I just made it into 1 page because honestly, I can't keep up with so many pages. And it's all under r.sen. Just it's like one word, r.dot.sen. I'll put it in the what is that thing called? The chat.
Yes, the chat. Arson, thank you so much for coming through. Make sure you check the chat. The people want you to come back. Roz is like, where you been? You better come back. And I just want to let you know that Paul said I should mute you for nostalgia's sake. He said it. Yeah. I know. But I didn't, especially after that poem. Okay, so you could go after Paul, but Nick may protect him, man. I don't know. We just met Nick today. Nick may protect him. So
I appreciate it.
R.sen, S-E-N. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Good seeing you. I miss you.
I missed you too. I love you. Bye.
Bye. That was Arson the Poet. Very first person to ever be muted, and people ask him, what do you mean muted? I checked the rest of the list. Everyone is safe. What we do here, we have a tradition here in the Monday Night Online Open Mic that if you live in New York City and you've never actually been to the physical cafe, you get muted at the end. We let you do your poetry, share your stuff, but then at the end, I mute you, okay? We've had to mute about 12 people now. So real quick, because we're at the turn of the hour, we would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. Without them, we wouldn't be having this, and without you, we wouldn't be having this. So you too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at nuyorican.org/contribute, or you can donate via Cash App to Nuyorican Poets Cafe. So with that being said, we have, who do I have next? Oh, I have Cindy Peralta, who I know Cindy, but I haven't seen her here. Are you here, Cindy? I don't see Cindy Peralta, also known as Black Angel, which is a shame because she's really good. I think you guys would have really enjoyed her. So I don't see her, which means we are moving to someone we know but she has a new name because she's in the witness protection program. And out in Oakland, they gangster, man. They gangster. And that is now Metronome. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Thank you.
Metronome. So did we set up social media and everything?
Not yet, it's coming. But thank
Okay.
you. You guys is why the handle was born. So
There we go. And of course, I think you got it in your hand. Let's see the shoe game.
yeah, animal skin. That's right. And the animal pants and the lion. I'm in theme.
You are very much in theme. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right, cool. You ready to get into it?
Yes, so I'm gonna do it to be for the first time, you guys. So we'll see how this goes. Can you hear it?
Put the music down a little so we can hear you.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah, sounds good. Wait, a little bit louder.
Cool. All right.
You good.
Cool. I got back to my instincts by watching National Geographic. Wolves in sheep's clothing unfortunately led me away from my freedom. But tuning in and observing how certain snake species treat their kind gave me enlightenment for all kind. There are actual con snakes that emit a female scent to trick all the males that bask in the sun, preparing for mating season, attracting them to jump on the fraud snake, warning that fake snake up so he's ready to get some tail, snaking his way to the front without paying his due. Hey, actually, I mated with that low-lying lazy snake in the grass. We have to be aware of the parasites and fleas that bloodsuck us that walk amongst us. Pretending to be cool, that is my big bone to pick. We need to be in tune with what nature gave us to protect us from the dog-eat-dog world. It's the real elephant in the room. When we connect to our instinct, we realize who the stool pigeons and one-trick ponies are. I had to learn to be my own cat's meow and hold my own horse and detect the big-headed and not let them weasel out of responsibility. I had to find my lion's share and not let the pussy out of the bag so quickly. I stopped going to the dogs, quick cold turkey, and let sleeping dogs lie. I stay away from the wild goose chase and now watch rats like a hawk and cut the bait and learn not to believe the red herrings. I used to be the personality that wouldn't hurt a fly, but that ended up getting my own goat and got me madder than a hornet, because the virgin of the birds and the bees that I received gave me a bum steer that led me always barking up the wrong tree, beating a dead horse. I had to finally take that bee out of my bonnet and made me bug out and embrace the closed horse that I always be, wearing the golden fleece. I conquered the scaredy cat within and stopped arguing until the cows come home and hone into my own beast of burden and stay away from the bird brains and learn that a bird in the hand that has way more worth than two in the bush. I came to find out that being the black sheep of the family is the best role to be. Why be the cow when I have my own milk for free? Fuck those male pig chauvinists. Why do I want to lead a horse to water and make him drink? I don't want to teach an old dog new tricks. I no longer want to waste my time. I got all my ducks in a row and I put the fish back in the water as I'm filled to the gills. Get my early worm with my new eagle eyes. I moved that 800-pound gorilla out of my room and shook that monkey off my back that I used to go ape over. I no longer go hog wild. I am now a fat, cool cat, no longer shooting fish in a barrel, running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I finally earned my feather and my cat no longer believe in fish stories. I got bigger, sold a fry. I flew the coop because I was sold a fishy deal. I get the golden egg from watching my furry friends so I don't get skunked. Giving bear hugs to the survival of the fittest, staying away from the manipulating fly catchers that use fake honey. I'm not going to be the fly in the ointment. I stay off the grid and away from the flies on the wall that spy. I rip the cat off my tongue and release my flight to the flock, the hummingbird's charm. I used to go like a bat out of hell thinking he was a fox, But really, I was gobbledygook thinking, he's a pussycat, he's a rare bird, he's a stud, he's healthy as a horse, but really, he's a shrimp, and he's no spring chicken. What came first, the chicken or the coward? A henpecked husband with an albatross around his neck. His bite is as bad as his bark. I was a fish out of water on a fishing expedition, believing what I see, kissing toes, but always hearing the frog in his throat. Finally kicking him off his high horse, realizing that those butterflies in the pit of my stomach were always a warning sign. Come to find out, he doesn't give a hoot. He always lacks any horse sense, and it's not worth having a dog in the race. Bug off, I say, to the harebrained ideas. I will not be barnacle encrusted. I'm too busy like the bees and the beavers. I have a new bird's eye view. I'm the cat's pajamas and the bee's knees. I stay away from the junkyard dogs and the grease monkeys, and don't fall prey to the mouse traps that lay by my feet. I have built my own nest egg, and I don't badger him. It would be a case of the tail wagging the dog, a cat and mouse game. I locked the cat burglars away. Curiosity killed the cat, but I got 9 lives. Never fishing for a compliment. Finally learned to keep my own bright eyes and bushy tail, the hottest chick flick. Never shedding crocodile tears. Hot dog, I caught off the dogs once and for all. Crazy like a fox, complete hogwash. Curb your dog and crabby attitude, doggone it. The chickens always come home to roost, believe that. I grew out of my doe-eyed view. It's just a dog and pony show. I keep that old book dog-eared, so I never forget the dog fight I was in. So I keep my dovish attitude and not be dog-tired and go down the rabbit's hole again and pussyfoot around. So I don't drink like a fish and be drunk as a skunk. I gotta remember that I used to be like a deer in headlights, like a lamb to the slaughter, like a wounded deer, a lab rat on my own journey, a lame duck. I need to let the cat out of the bag and set out as a lone wolf and stay away from the ones who look like the cat who swallowed the canary, a cock at the roost, and always remember that birds of a feather flock together, monkey see, monkey do, and reject those who have morals of an alley cat, the snake oil salesman, and never forget how it felt when I crawled out of the snake pit where I used to be snug as a bug in a rug and a clutter bug, and move away from the line snake block of roach motels where I learned never put the cart before the horse. And if you smell a rat, believe that sense. If it walk like a duck, it's a sneaky fox. Cock of the walk, those who are cocksure of themselves never lock horns with that. You'll be goosed and buffaloed every time and bug-eyed, wondering what happened. You played cards with the shark and swam with them too. I double dog dare you to prove that's not true. Pony up, I got out of the rat race in the nick of time with no crow's feet to show. I walk proud with my lion's mane with no shame, and I refuse to be caught blocked for my own joy. I was my own legal beagle slapping a restraining order on the leopard that can't change his spots. I hoard on into my reptilian brain and fought the good fight and then took flight on no longer to be outfoxed. I realized I'm the pick of the litter and this pussy will no longer be gorged by his bullhead. I flew the nest of vipers and beelined it to victory. I won the horse race, no longer the underdog. He's got his tail between his legs. I took the bull by the horns, no longer the scapegoat. You were the straw that broke the camel's back. You should never look straight into my gift mouth. No more puppy love. I slammed the door on the wolf and wolfed my own food down and realized I need to be stopped putting lipstick on pigs and no, they will never fly, but owls do, and I have their wisdom now. The world is my oyster, and I will never put my pearl among swine. There is plenty of fish in the ocean, but not on the web filled with lies that once restrained me, and now I fly like an eagle where my spirit is free from my own toxic species, and I don't give a rat's tail about those who smell like a cat drives them in, or who pigeonhole me, or who are caught up in the dirty dog path. Lit 3 little birds told me to stop horsing around, never be poked by a pig, wing it, be proud as a peacock. He's nothing but a jackass, and his goose is definitely cooked, and you will always remain top bitch, rich with clams. Remain top bitch, rich with clams at the peak of your own roost that broke out of your own cocoon. And coyote dreamed, rose like the phoenix, free as the dragonflies and the honeybees, who metamorphosized into the ultimate queen bee.
Yes, unmute yourself. Give it up for Metronome.
Metronome.
Yeah.
Stop it with your bad.
Very nice, Metronome.
So good. Oh my god.
Incredible.
Yes.
Had quotables for days. Quotables for days. What came first? The chicken or the coward? Unmute yourself, Metronome. Thank you so much for adding to the energy and the music. And you said no social media yet, right?
Not yet. No, not yet. But thank you for that theme. I had fun writing that. Thank you.
Awesome. That was Metronome. She will off on that right there, man. Every line was like a metaphor. I love it. I love it. That puts in work. That is a lot of work. So I appreciate that. Metronome, she's soon going to get her social media together. Only place to find is here, Monday Night Online Open Mic. Okay, next up is Mr. Tesosomok. Where is he? There he is. And mute him. Sir, how are you this fine day?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. Ready to add to the energy of the night?
Ready to roll, buddy.
Go ahead.
Relámpago, lightning. It was that one white radio up on above, that small shelf grandfather had built. It sat there smoking, dials half melted. Yolanda would not stop screaming, her little body heaving in screams as she clung to the braids on her grandmother's head. Heriberto sat on one corner, sobbing long tears. Grandfather, with his figure square and powerful, was busily covering the hole on the roof, desperately trying to keep the rain out of the thatch house. 10 years before, he had built the thatch house, half out of carefully placed limestone and the other half braided bamboo. It was these water wash rocks he had dragged up from the planting fields, and the rolling of these rocks that made his fingers thick and his grip strong. These rocks he had stacked and carefully caulked with red clay to keep the chilling winds from running through the house. It had taken him 3 to 4 months to cut and drag the 4-meter bamboo stalk. He cut a path to the granite beds of Las Tavernillas, where the bamboo grew thick and strong. He did not fear the stories of the mountain lions or the stories of all of the cristeros who had been buried in clay pots in the fields that touched those high rock piles. He braided the roof and some of the walls behind the house. The men and women he grew up with came one day disobeying the Sabbath and covering the walls with as much of that clay that lay so close to the house. Perhaps that is why they had given him this land after the revolution. Someone knew of the hardship of tilling the red clay. The roof had not been plugged completely and water still dropped on the hornilla, the hearth, and the water drops splatter, leaving a dampened tang on the comal. The polished red clay began to melt and became slippery. Grandmother had worked so hard to polish it and let it dry, then polishing the red clay. She could not drop Yolanda to try to cover her hornilla, which she had worked so hard to keep smooth and dustless. She yelled, "Florentino, mi hornilla." She looked back down and knew how much she loved that tortilla making fireplace, how many times everybody had sat around and eaten the steaming beans and the burning chile macho grandfather made. She scuttled about and yelled at Heriberto, "Mijo, cubre la hornilla." He stopped crying and ran for a plastic used fertilizer bag, and grandfather kept in the back and threw it over the fireplace. It was still that one white radio that used to sit up on high on the shelf grandfather built. It had a single wire that ran into the ground, and when Calimán would not be received well enough, we all ran for a glass of water, poured it on that junction between red clay and exposed wire. We thought it made it better. The radio had come from a short visit to Unión de Tula. Grandfather had said that he was buying it because my grandmother wanted to listen to the announcement from her hometown, but we all knew he used to stay up late and listen to 24 Horas with Jacobo Zabludowski. When grandfather had covered that hole on the roof, we knew that it was that one white radio that had caused Yema's death. He always sat there next to the radio. We thought he could understand what they used to say on the radio. He was grandfather's best friend. On those days of the hunt, we could hear them both chasing wounded deer for days and nights. He'd be the first one home, dragging his tongue and licking all of us he could reach to show us he had missed us, jump on us and make us fall to the ground. Heriberto had not stopped crying, and Yolanda was still crying much quieter and with less screaming. Grandfather looked at grandmother, her sad cheeks turned down as she put Yolanda on a chair and quieted her down. Grandfather had slipped to the back. When they both had reappeared, grandmother began with her first novena, holding between her hands and asking all of us to kneel. She began that quiet meditation. Grandfather covered Yema with a burlap sack He put his left hand under Yema's torso and the other around his head. He carried him to the back of the house. When he came back, he also kneeled and entered the prayer. We all thought of Yema and his life. I knew Yema was short for Ismael. Then I thought about Abraham and God's request to sacrifice Ismael. I wanted to know why he had not shown compassion or mercy and had been me instead.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Mr. Tesla Somo.
Hey.
Such a wonderful story. Thank you.
Yes.
Love you, Tess.
Yeah.
Mr. Tesla Somo, the storyteller. Let me unmute him one more time. So, there we go. Mr. Tesla Somo, where can the people find you online, sir?
At Gashes 2019. I will put it on the chat.
Please do, man. And the people appreciated the pictures along with the storytelling. That's what's up, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Tesla Somok, always bringing it. I like the way, I think it was Paul Skiff who said, another chronicle from Mr. Tesla Somok. That sounds like the right word for him, right? Not just storyteller, but like chronicle. That's what he does. He brings us the chronicles. So that was a good one, Paul. Appreciate that. So next coming up is, before we get to the next coming up, also I saw Miro is in here tonight. I'm used to her being on the open mic. That's why I shout her out. She wasn't on the list, so she's here showing love. I see Nightcrawler is here too. Mariela Cabrera came back. There's someone named Janessa Roberts. I don't know who that is, but Janessa, thank you for checking us out. Queen Tut, I'm feeling your hair. The purple is popping. DGC, who I think I had mentioned, and I think I've mentioned everyone. And Glissette Castro, don't know who that is, but I saw them in the chat as well. And Just Me, I appreciate y'all being here and listening to the poets and giving them energy. So with that being said, next come to the mic is Sam Park. How are you this evening?
I'm so good. I'm really excited as per usual. Every week, I just look forward to this because I ain't got no social life. But yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying the evening. I'm glad we got you. You got bumped from the waiting list to the guaranteed list because a couple of people had to bounce out. So are you ready to add to the energy?
I'm ready.
Go ahead, do your thing.
All right, y'all. So this is a poem that I wrote actually about like the full moon that's coming up next. I know Catherine was mentioning it, and that totally was my vibe. But this is pretty much just like a type of manifestation type of thing. You know, we're just trying to get better out here. All right. So this is Metamorphosis. Lately, I've been feeling at odds with the divine. I've been seeking growth without accounting for time, exploring passion, but putting self-love on the line, fighting with spirit, but ignoring that I signed the soul contract to a complete surrender. Lately, I've neglected to remember that all the downfalls I've suffered were meant to mold my heart into something more tender. It was easier avoiding darkness, thinking it was necessary in order to render an artificial light that lent its spark through a pretender. It was just an impression of my intention. Purgatory doesn't have an address, it's another dimension, a less different lens through which we gaze every day. As I finally take off the rosy glasses that gave too much shade, the brightness reflects that dimming it was just a way of ignoring pain. Every obstacle sets its course in mysterious ways, but I continue to embark on guarding my heart and knowing it's never too dark, that I can at least see things clearly through my art, but self-expression is just accepting the start to figuring out this balancing act of melancholy and joy. I'm learning that sometimes it's not possible to remain so poised. Fuck acting indifferent as a simple decoy. The visible chip on my shoulder is meant to destroy the illusion that I always win my battles. I realized that losing them hurts more because it was meant to rattle the parts of me that never actually healed. Part of overcoming defeat is revealing the once concealed vulnerabilities that I've stubbornly tried to repeal and repeal. I denounce the self-hate that I've carried around since birth. I want to be uplifted and still enough to know my worth. I want to extend gratitude to the blessings that I once thought were a curse, making sure my mistakes will be woven in gold on the tapestry of my time on this earth. I know that even though I'm isolated, I am never trapped. The monarch of change is tightly wrapped within its own wings that long to stretch for potential, still untapped. It is a fact that leaving guilt with the breeze is the best part of getting there. Sadness shouldn't be avoided. It should be treated with the most care. When there will finally be a break from darkness, vitality will be reflected. Night gives way to morning, and every morning light is resurrected. I'm not going to pretend like I was never affected by the shadow that once cast over me. If anything, I rely more on my spirit guides to tighten their grip on me. So my fight hasn't been with the divine, although the warrior in me wants to bite. Because as she pushes back, I long to be stagnant and give up the fight. I'm learning to tuck away the rhetoric that these things happen out of spite. It's only through reflection that I can retain the might to continue charging on, knowing that I'm not always right. It's through darkness, being alone, and my pride being overthrown that transformation happens, just in divine timing and not my own. Spirit is connecting my flaws together to grow a stronger spine. The virtue of patience is the rarest to find, but with amazing grace, I feel peace of mind that in due time, my metamorphosis will reach its prime.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Sam.
OD nice. That was OD nice.
Metamorphosis, thank you.
Beautiful. That was OD nice.
Thank you.
Sam Park, let me unmute her one more time. Sam, where can the people find you online?
So here, let me actually put it on the chat, but I have an Instagram. My Instagram is at Zaddy_beats. That is connected to a Spotify, and the link is actually in my Instagram for curating some playlists. I just released one called AM Bump, so that's all good for your commute, your morning, breakfast, whatever you do in the morning. But yeah, I hope you bump to it, and I hope y'all enjoy it. You have to let me know what you think.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate you as always. Samantha Park bringing it in. And it's crazy because in another 3 weeks, I think it is, in 3 weeks, the theme is forgive yourself. So I really felt like, wow, like that, like again, yo, you guys are ahead of the curve this month, man. So in like 3 weeks, the theme is forgive yourself. I'm gonna put the themes up either tonight or tomorrow morning on my social media. So if you want to, if you not, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Advocate of Wordz with a Z. And in 3 weeks, we have, or I'm hosting on a Saturday, an erotic open mic. And I say that because the poem I'm gonna do for the erotic open mic has an animal theme. I'm just gonna read a couple of lines, not going to the whole poem. I just wanna read a couple of lines because it's the animal theme. So, I like the way you tame me, muzzling me like a hungry octopus to a conch shell, forcing me to eat my way out of your damn, you've got rivers that can drown a shark. But my tongue persistently parrots your twitches. Watch me tiger stripe your thighs with my canines. Watch me weaponize your orgasms, guerrilla warfare, leoparding out of your peripheral, leaving you hogtied. Praying mantis, side of my bed is your pew. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. So anyway, I'm gonna perform the rest of that poem at the erotic open mic. Hopefully y'all can make it there. And it's at 10 p.m. on Saturdays. I think it's like in 3 weeks. Again, I'm gonna put all that information on my social media. One more time, I want to thank Mr. Nick Luis for being the producer for tonight. As always, dude did a stand-up job. Appreciate him so much. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I see Joshua Love showed up late, but he did show up and giving love to the poets. I appreciate you too, brother. So our next open mic is Thursday. That is hosted by La Bruja at 9 p.m. Next Monday, if you want to sign up, the theme is Equilibrium. If you want to sign up, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, you have to get the artist RSVP. That is the only way that the New Yo is going to send me your name on the open mic list. So With that being said, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting us into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and I have been the lucky man who gets to host it, Advocate of Wordz. We have had a great night tonight. Do me a favor, just turn off the internet. Go take care of someone you love, or go take care of yourself, or go take care of a pet. I mean, tonight is the animal theme, right? So please do that. I love y'all. Once again, Mr. Nick Luis, I appreciate it. Let's go. Take us home. Peace.